Is this live? There we go. I'm gonna wait for people to come in. In the meantime, I'm gonna figure out how to share screen. Here we go. That was quick. Oh wow, that's trippy. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I know there's nobody watching, but since this is pre-recorded, you need to join the Discord and message him the link. I don't have any link right now. I have joined you. Anyway, so just to put things into perspective, right now I'm live. This is a new collab I'm doing with Euro and Channel. Euro and I forgot the name. Euro and Travel, my bad. And yeah, this is the first stream ever. Move this over here for works. Just waiting for people to come in. I'll stop sharing for a moment. What do you mean no signal? Sorry, let's try and fix this. Wunderbar. All right. I'm gonna begin my reaction to this video. everything about the regime is unusual. So makes sense that they made a retarded jet. Retarded. Everything about the regime is retarded. Sorry, I just gotta keep do something. There we go. I'm gonna move back. I didn't hear that. You got to think about how expensive this shit is, right? And not only that, but the amount of money it would take to build something like this, the amount of engineering, all the costs of this thing alone. Where's this money coming from? They're spending money that they don't have to build this shit. This isn't some first world country where they can afford it. This is Iran. They can't afford this shit, but they're building it anyway. Insane. People are starving in the streets and then building this shit. Unbelievable. I'm gonna skip this. No, it's pathetic. They're trying to replicate um, America's and Russia's technology. People are starving and they're spending money on this, on their military. When are you going to use this? When did the people ask for this? Oh, we got some viewers in here. Oh, Count Vertebrae. Oh, hi. How you doing? I'm guessing you're Israeli, right? If you are, love you. Love Israel. Mwah. Looks like a camera. What is that? Is that a camera? I'm trying to zoom in. Yeah, this looks like a camera. Oh, must help with the targeting systems or something like that. What are we watching? Oh, we're watching a video on Iran's new stealth fighter jet. After this, we're gonna react to the last holdout of communists in the Philippines. International news, you know. I was about to say that. It probably means it can't do shit. Wasted all this money and time on building something that's not even worth blowing up. Man, if Israel is not even bothered to blow this plane up, this jet up, that means it can't do much. The only reason it's still alive is because it's leeching off the money of of the people, of its own people. It's not. It's not. It's taking away money from public services, from stuff that people rely on to survive, to fund its military, to fund its terror. The Iranian regime. This is what the Iranian regime is spending all the money on. It's unbelievable. Wasn't it right? Right, let me go back. I didn't. It must have been recent, right? I'm pretty sure it's only recently that Russia and Iran has been cooperating like this, like militarily, so to speak. Russia. Okay. Yep, this is from showing pictures of Ukraine, so I'm guessing this was from Russia. Again, they don't need this. Iranians didn't ask for this. The Iranian regime is pumping money into this ridiculous program that nobody asked for, nobody needed. Yes, every country needs a military, okay, but no, the people of Iran do not want a strong military. Do not want the regime to have a strong military, because that same military just uses its force on its own people, uses its power on its own people. These drones never come in handy. They're only there to spread terror, to give to Hamas, to give to Hezbollah, to give to the Houthis. That's what this is for. This is not for Iran's self defense. This is to attack others. So it didn't even pose that much of a threat. Fuck, I don't even think it was worth watching. Hey, Bradley Hall, how you doing? We're just reacting to some current affairs, current news, what's going on around the world. We're going to be talking about that today. Looking for another the other vid. Yeah, this. Oh my god. Talk about indoctrinated. These look like fanboys and girls. Fucking lunatics. Look at these. They literally have the hammer and sickle on their faces. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. You know what it looks like? It looks like a giant target on their faces. Yeah, it just looks like a giant target. I wonder who filmed this. Red and yellow is. I play a lot of games, and I can tell you that red and yellow is a great camouflage. Really? In the jungle. Well, now that I think about it, I guess it can. I don't know. I don't think so. It depends. I've never been in the jungle before. In the photos I've seen, it's just greenery everywhere. So red and yellow, it would just make you look like a giant ass target, in my opinion. You're being sarcastic. Okay, I thought so. I was like, no, that can't make sense. I was like, what? But hey, if they want to paint a giant target on their faces, it's easier for us, right? It's easier for us to shoot them in the head. In the head. They are. Communists are cancer. Communists are cancer. You got to wipe them out from this earth. Sometimes I wonder if we should adopt new methods to wipe them out. And I also think sometimes the West is way too lenient on them. They cause all sorts of havoc and then they get off scot free. I mean, just look at the Black Lives Matter protests, how Antifa involved itself, how much chaos it sowed throughout the country. Not only there, but like everywhere, throughout the world. So she's seen the light. That's good. We're making progress then. Oh my god! Look at this woman. How skinny she is. And she looks like one of those Western lesbian librarians. I got a librarian in this district. I never go in the library to read. No, fuck no. I only go in there to make noise, to disrupt, to annoy it for others. I mean, who reads anymore? No, I'm kidding. I got a friend who works there. I only go there to visit him. But yeah, that's the librarian there looks exactly like her. She looks like a communist. Well, she looks like a Western communist. It's a threat to the world. What do you mean it's seen as a threat? It is a threat to the world. Good. Because they're losing. Good. The more they suffer, the better for the world. Communists must die. Let this be a lesson to all communists. The ideology that you believe in only brings in hell, suffering, and pain. I guess suffering and pain are the same thing, but still. I'm not getting audio from the vids you're playing. Is that the end? Is that my end? Hmm. Okay. Is it coming through a little bit or is it breaking up? Let me try playing something else. See if. No, wait, let me. Yeah, I'm fixing it now. Try with this video. You hear this one? Oh, let me hide and stop sharing. Share again. No, yeah, it's so weird. Oh, yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, I'm testing it through my other phone too. That is so odd. Shit, I don't know how to fix that. Turn, Hey, Euro Travel, do you know how to fix this issue? There's no sound coming through from the video that I'm watching. Oh, I got a different idea. I'll play it from my phone, and you'll be able to hear it from there. Yeah, that's a much better idea. Instead of wasting time trying to figure out how to fix it.
From Iran.
Let's go from the beginning. There we go.
After America's massive airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities last month, Trump was triumphant. He told reporters that Iran's facilities have been, quote, obliterated, and that we'll get whatever we want from Iran. But a couple of weeks on, and the strikes don't look like an unqualified success. It's not clear that they're as effective as Trump originally claimed, and Iran has since said that it will resume enrichment. So in this video, we're going to explain why the strikes didn't totally destroy Iran's nuclear program, and how this could force the US into more strikes in the future.
Sucks. I wanted it to be destroyed. We all wanted it to be destroyed.
Getting ever closer to 1 million subscribers, and 68% of you aren't even subscribed yet. So lend us a hand and subscribe today. So let's get straight into it. The main reason that we think a further conflict between Iran and the US is inevitable is that it looks like Iran is going to continue with its nuclear program. This was at least in part because it looks like the US-Israel military campaign wasn't wholly successful, and Iran could still build a nuclear weapon in relatively short time. And to understand why,
oh my god. So this war, well, I mean, okay, this war wasn't totally for nothing. The good side is that it killed a bunch of the leadership. And by the way, the supreme leader is still in hiding. He's not out yet. What a pussy. But yeah, he's still in hiding. He's not out yet. And thanks to this war, he's terrified. He's been exposed as the coward he is. Zelensky is on the front lines of the war in Ukraine, and this guy is still hiding in his bunker. What a pussy. Some say there's actually rumors right now that's spreading throughout the country saying that he might be dead. The supreme leader might be dead. Now might be the chance to rise up. The regime is gonna totally collapse, because as I said before, I don't know if you guys watched the previous stream I did with Euro and Travel, but I mentioned that if the supreme leader is dead, the whole thing comes crashing down. Look what's happening right now. He's hiding and he's not coming out. The war's been over for 2 weeks, but then again, it might be okay. Ceasefires aren't an official end to a war. I get it, but still, it's been pretty much, it looks like it's pretty much over for the last 2 weeks now, and he's still in hiding. Okay, so there's a good chance that he's probably dead. That's why there's rumors spreading around in the country, in Iran. There's rumors spreading around that he's actually dead, okay? Because no one's heard from him, despite the fact that it's been 2 weeks now since it's ended. Is Iran rebuilding? And have they salvaged uranium? According to this video, yeah. And I'm pretty disappointed about that. But I am happy at the fact that Trump and Israel wiped out most of the leadership. I'm really happy about that. Iranians are really happy about that. And if Khamenei, the supreme leader, is dead, oh my god, we're gonna dance and cheer and celebrate like it's 1999. But again, every day that the supreme leader doesn't come out of hiding, the more suspicious everyone's getting that, hey, he might actually be dead. And again, because regime officials know that, because the regime officials know that if the supreme leader dies right now, the whole thing comes crashing down. I'm guessing whoever's left at the top of the regime is trying to keep it under wraps that the supreme leader's dead. But he might not be dead. Who knows? Mossad assassination before ceasefire? Lol. Who knows? But then again, he is like 90, the supreme leader, so he might be dead. Wait, let's check that out. I want to check that out. The sooner he dies, the better. Khamenei. Look at this son of a bitch. Age. Really? 86? 1939. 86. Okay. Fuck, I wanted to die. But yeah, that is pretty old. So he might have died of old age, or who knows. Hopefully he's gonna die or has died slow and painful death. God, man, you know what I want to do to him? Mussolini. Oh, Mussolini. After coming over to. What's his face? I want to string his body up just like the Italians did with their dictator, Mussolini. Look at that. Look at that. That's the dictator. That's what we Iranians want to do to our supreme leader. Maybe not everyone wants to see a sight like that, but man, he's pissed off so many of us. He's tortured so many of us that's what we want to do to him. Spit on his fucking carcass. Can I get the sound of it?
You need to understand how
Wait. I'm gonna look that up.
the warhead is actually made. According to the UN's nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, building a nuclear warhead requires enriching 27 kilograms of uranium to the point that it is 90% composed of uranium-235, the isotope of uranium that can sustain a chain reaction. Get a massive 120.
My fucking ass. What would you say the percentage of normal Iranian people is that are against the leader? Fuck, 90 or it's definitely above 85. I'd say 87 to 90. Again, it's so hard to get good numbers. Sometimes from independent polling, what we have is that it's always, you can't trust independent polls 100% of the time, but we know for a fact that it's between 97% and 87%, somewhere between there. I'm gonna move this back.
Gigs for just $35 every renewal for 12 renewals. Amazing! A money app that lets you design.
One sec. I'm just trying to link up the audio.
That is awesome. Since Trump's withdrawal from the nuclear program, composed of uranium-235, nuclear warhead requires enriching 27 kilograms.
Here we go.
Of uranium to the point that it is 90% composed of uranium-235, the isotope of uranium that can sustain a chain reaction. Since Trump's withdrawal from the nuclear program in 2018, Iran has been steadily enriching uranium at its two enrichment facilities, Natanz and Fordow. Before the strikes, the IAEA estimated that Iran had a 408 kilogram stockpile of uranium enriched to 60%. This meant that Iran had a relatively short breakout time, i.e. it wouldn't have taken Iran long to enrich their 60% uranium stockpile to the required 90%. This alone wouldn't have been enough for a functioning nuke. Iran would then have to develop a missile capable of carrying a nuclear warhead, which is another task in and of itself. But Israel and the US obviously don't want Iran to get a nuclear warhead, which
Nobody
is why
wants
the strikes
this.
in Iran's nuclear facilities had two objectives. The first was to destroy this stockpile of enriched uranium, hence the US strikes on Isfahan, where the stockpile was allegedly being stored in a series of underground tunnels. The second objective was to destroy Iran's enrichment capabilities, hence the strikes on Natanz and Fordow. If the US could destroy both Iran's uranium stockpile and its enrichment capabilities, it could push Iran's breakout time from weeks to years. But despite some triumphant noises from Trump, in the past couple of weeks it's become increasingly clear that the strikes weren't totally effective. For starters, there's now a pretty widespread consensus that Iran moved its stockpile of 60% enriched uranium out of harm's way before the strikes, and no one knows where it is. Furthermore, it's not clear that the strikes did totally destroy Iran's enrichment capabilities. While Trump has claimed on multiple occasions that Natanz and Fordow were, quote, obliterated, early US and European intelligence assessments suggest otherwise. And the IAEA's director told CNN earlier this week that the damage to Iran's nuclear site was, quote, not total, and that Iran could resume enrichments in a matter of months.
Then go back in there and wipe them out. Come on. I feel like Trump isn't going to do this because he's the type of guy that won't usually admit to his mistakes. I mean, I love the guy, but personality-wise, like president-wise, I love him. Personality-wise, I feel like he's not the type to admit admit his mistakes. And if he goes back and attacks again, he'd be kind of admitting that his initial strike didn't work. And then again, if he did strike, he'd probably be breaking his own ceasefire, right? I mean, the ceasefire was with Israel and Iran, not Iran and America, after all. So he wouldn't technically be breaking the ceasefire, would he? 1 sec.
Sites were totally destroyed, Iran has said that it's setting up a third enrichment site at an unknown location. If this site remains untouched, then Iran's breakout time could be down to a month. Iran has historically been able to install 1 to 2 cascades of centrifuges a week, and it would take a single cascade only 2 or 3 weeks to enrich 27 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium up to the required 90%. But to be honest, this disagreement over the efficacy of the strikes and Iran's breakout time slightly misses the point, because airstrikes alone were always unlikely to be sufficient to completely erase Iran's ability to build a bomb. After all, Iran is a massive country with 90 million people and already has the relevant nuclear knowledge and expertise. Unless you assassinate literally every scientist, you can't bomb Iran's nuclear knowledge out of existence. Perhaps Trump and Netanyahu...
I mean, I guess you can. That is a good point. But if you keep assassinating the top scientists, nobody would want to take the next position, right? Nobody would want to take the promotion because they'll get assassinated too.
We're instead hoping to essentially bomb Iran in submission. In other words, to demonstrate such total military superiority that even if it still has the nuclear knowledge or some of the enrichment facilities, Iran wouldn't dare restart its nuclear program. But this would be politically impossible for the Ayatollahs. They're already deeply unpopular, and it's not clear that their regime could survive such a humiliating capitulation.
Even right now,
Israel and America...
Even right now, it's on its last legs. Okay, so anymore, and it'll go down. I can't even... If I am to sum up how this regime is hanging on for its life right now, it's hanging on by the skin of its teeth. It's by the skin of its teeth. Nothing else. I'm going to leave it at that. But as you heard, even TLDR News is stating that in Iran, even outside of Iran and inside Iran, the regime is deeply unpopular. It's hated. It's hated. Deeply unpopular is sugarcoating it. The Iranian regime is hated among the Iranian people. So let me just put that out there. Again, I'm just reiterating that the people are not your enemy. It's just this regime.
Because total military superiority has probably given Iran more of an incentive. They're already deeply unpopular, and it's not clear that their regime could survive such a humiliating capitulation. But more fundamentally, Israel and America's total military superiority has probably given Iran more of an incentive to continue with its nuclear program. Most of Iran will feel that the current state of affairs, where Iran is essentially at the mercy of the American and Israeli militaries, is just untenable, and they need some sort of deterrence. With their proxy network degraded and conventional military force incapable of competing with the US and Israel, Iran's only real shot at a deterrence is a nuke. Anyway, the Ayatollahs...
So the whole axis of evil is it's pretty much reduced to dust. Hamas has been reduced to dust. It's not completely wiped out, but it's been reduced to dust. Assad in Syria, he's ousted. He's gone. Bye-bye. Hezbollah, their leadership has been, I wouldn't say it's been pretty much critically wiped out, but I think they're starting to rebuild due to Israel's three-front war in a way, one against Iran, one against Hamas, and one against Hezbollah. But yeah. But other than that, Iran's network has completely crashed down. Next stop is the regime. Hopefully that crashes down next. He has put himself in a little bit of a tough position. Russia and China also factored into his decisions as well. Both have supported the Iranian regime. Who? Trump's decision? I guess you make a good point. He is in a tough position, but Russia and China, even if they support the Iranian regime, so what? Does that mean Trump is supposed to go running scared because Russia and China are involved? That Trump's not scared like that. But I'm just saying, the only thing that's preventing him from doing this is not Russia and China. Don't think that. America and its allies are strong. America is the strongest nation on earth. But the only thing that I think would hold him back from going back in and striking Iran's nuclear facilities again is Trump's ego, because he's not willing to admit that the first strike didn't take it out. Again, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, but we all make mistakes. It's normal. Trump makes mistakes. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It's normal. I just hope he's willing to admit his mistake. That hey, the first strike didn't do much. Let's go back in and do it again. Fuck the ceasefire. Let's go back in and punch this regime in the face. Knock their teeth out. Make sure that all the teeth from this regime's mouth is knocked out. So the only thing they can use their mouth for is to suck the dick of the Iranian people. I don't know if I took it too far, but whatever.
So apparently come to exactly this conclusion, and conventional military force incapable of competing with the US and Israel, Iran's only real shot at a deterrence is a nuke. Anyway, the Ayatollahs have apparently come to exactly this conclusion. In his first post-ceasefire speech, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei accused Trump of exaggerating the damage caused to Iran's nuclear facilities. And Iran's ambassador to the UN announced that they would resume enrichment as permitted under the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Iran has also suspended its cooperation with the IAEA, criticizing the organization's failure to condemn the strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities and accusing it of leaking intel to Israel. So, what happens if Iran does indeed resume enrichment and pursue a policy of nuclear ambiguity, accusing it of leaking intel to Israel? Criticizing the organization's failure to condemn the strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities and accusing it of leaking intel to Israel. So, what happens if Iran does indeed resume enrichment and pursue a policy of nuclear ambiguity? Well, there are broadly two outcomes available: a new nuclear deal or more airstrikes. Now, a new deal doesn't look likely at the moment. Trump has said that he's not offering Iran anything and demanded, quote, unconditional surrender, while the Iranian Foreign Ministry said that they couldn't negotiate with the Trump administration because they're, quote, in no way reliable or trustworthy.
That's funny coming from them. Everything the regime says is a lie. Everything. Nothing they say can be trusted. The only person that's not trustworthy, the only people that are not trustworthy is the people that's leading the Iranian regime. Now, I agree with Trump. I'm so glad that he tore up that ridiculous nuclear treaty during his first presidency. It didn't allow for some inspections of some nuclear facilities. It only allowed for inspection of some of them, and during various times of the year, like very rare times of the year. It wasn't enough. It was ridiculous. The Iranian regime was laughing at America when Obama made that first nuclear deal. Was it Obama? I think it was Obama. Whatever it was, but whatever the treaty was that Trump broke up, I'm so happy he did it. I'm so happy he did it because that was a ridiculous deal. You're awesome, and I agree. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bro. That's fair. He does have an ego. Yeah. I remember there was this one joke that Seth MacFarlane made, the creator of Family Guy. Trump's ego is so big that when Trump bangs a supermodel, he closes his eyes and imagines he's jerking off. Oh, man. This was at the roast of Donald Trump. Trump himself laughed at this joke. It was funny. Even I laughed my ass off. Look it up. It was the roast of Donald Trump. Oh man, there was a lot of good singers in there. I think the what the fuck? What was his name? The guy who was like the leader of CNN. He was invited. Larry King. Yeah, Larry King when he was still alive. He attended Trump's roast. He roasted Trump, and Trump roasted him back. It was a very fun. It was a very fun event. Man, poor Larry King. If he's probably rolling in his grave after seeing what CNN has become. CNN's always been a little liberal, right? But I don't think they've ever evolved. I don't think they were ever this bad. I mean, they were popular at one point because they must have been good, right? So it couldn't have. Yeah. They must have been. I'm too young to remember CNN. It's in its prime, but well, it's a giant company, so it must have been popular. It must have been authentic back then. But I know that ever since Larry King died, it's just gone downhill. Now I just get my news from TLDR. I listen to both sides, both liberal and conservative media, and I flush out the truth from there. You're awesome, and yep. That was wait. Which one is that? Oh yeah, thanks. Laughing my fucking ass off. Yeah, I love Seth MacFarlane. He's one of my heroes. He's a liberal, but he's a normal liberal. He's like Bill Maher, a classic one. He's not insane. He's someone that you can work with. That hey, you can agree to disagree with certain policies, but at the end of the day, we both agree that freedom comes first. The republic comes first. Democracy comes first. Liberty comes first. But with these new Dems, you just can't agree with anything, really. Can't even agree on what the fuck a woman is.
No surrender. While the Iranian foreign ministry said that they couldn't negotiate with the Trump administration because they're, quote, in no way reliable or trustworthy. But if no deal's agreed, then the US will have to restart its air campaign to keep Iran's nuclear program down. Trump has already said as much, telling the BBC last month that he would, quote, absolutely consider bombing Iran again if they restarted enrichment.
Oh, okay. So yes, all right. I don't know if TLDR was about to expand on this based on what he just said. He said it opens the door, but maybe he's about to say the same thing as what I'm about to say. Given the fact that Trump has said he would absolutely consider bombing Iran again, this opens the door to the idea that okay, he's willing to admit that he was wrong, and even if he decides to bomb again, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be admitting that the first strike didn't do much, because he's already said that he's willing to do it again. If that makes any sense. If you understand what I mean. So he could argue that, hey, I'm going back in and bombing Iran again, not because the first strike failed, but because I said from the very beginning, if Iran resumes nuclear enrichment, then I will go back and bomb it again. So this can kind of save his ego at the same time. And yeah. That's the thing. Why isn't... Oh, wait. Come on, got it.
Door to an indefinite US air campaign over Iran. And there are clear echoes of Iran again if they restarted enrichment. But this opens the door to an indefinite US air campaign over Iran. And there are Iran again if they restarted enrichment. But this opens the door to an indefinite US air campaign over Iran. And there are clear echoes of Iraq here. The US, UK, and France.
Guys, I'm really sorry. I did not follow what he just said. I've got to rewind it more.
A new nuclear deal or more air strikes. Now, a new deal doesn't look likely at the moment. Trump has said that he's not offering Iran anything and demanded, quote, unconditional surrender, while the Iranian foreign ministry said that they couldn't negotiate with the Trump administration because they're, quote, in no way reliable or trustworthy. But if no deal's agreed, then the US will have to restart its air campaign to keep Iran's nuclear program down. Trump has already said as much, telling the BBC last month he would, quote, absolutely consider bombing Iran again if they restarted enrichment. But this opens the door to an indefinite US air campaign over Iran. And there are clear echoes of Iraq here. The US, UK, and France had to stage constant air raids over Iraq through the 90s and early 2000s in order to maintain the no-fly zones imposed after the 1991 Gulf War. Okay. But it soon became clear that this wasn't sustainable. France withdrew in 1996, and a full-scale invasion followed in 2003. All of this plays into a broader feeling coming out of America at the moment. At one time, the US seemed to be a steady, stabilizing force in global politics. But it seems that those days are over, with American influence, popularity, and dominance on the decline. So in the next issue of
America is a stabilizing force in the world, but I do agree that ever since the Iraq War, its perception among the more uneducated countries has slipped a little bit. Well, perhaps a lot, I don't know. But America needs to be seen as the peacemaker again, and Trump's doing that. Regarding wars, some wars have to be fought, okay? The Iraq War, okay, was justified. The war was justified in my opinion, but doing it was a mistake, if that makes any sense. In my opinion, U.S. had every right to go in there. Saddam wasn't paying back his debts to the U.S. after the Iraq War. I think he assisted in giving the 9/11 terrorists fake passports. Either that was just a rumor or that was a true story, but either way. And Saddam had stated that he planned on making weapons of mass destruction. They didn't have any. We all know that. But he did state that he wanted it. Or it was either Saddam or officials in his government, in his regime. But going in and, committing to the actual war, that was a mistake. Right? Even though you were justified in going in, I don't think you should have gone in. I think you should have just let it slide. Because, as we can all see, Iraq is much worse now. And it's kind of There's a lot of warlords in Iraq right now. That's a puppet of the Iranian regime. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. You can agree, you can disagree, you can yell at me if you like, but that's my take.
Global politics. But it seems that those days are over, with American influence, popularity, and dominance in the decline. So in the next issue of our magazine, Too Long, we're discussing this shift and the potential that we're currently observing the end of the American order. In that section of the magazine, we
Oh, don't say that.
Unpack everything from the collapse of democratic norms in the US to
What?
the decline of American soft power, and if the US can maintain its dominance in energy and technology. We also discuss the people who could pick.
Ah, my goodness. As long as America doesn't continue to alienate its allies, it will remain the dominant power in this world. And that's one thing I don't agree with Trump on. He's been alienating his allies a lot. Regarding Canada, like annexing Greenland. Like I love Trump. I love the guy, but we all have our not demons. Yeah, we all have demons, but that's not. We all have our bad sides, and the bad side of Trump is that he's a huge shit talker. He has a huge ego, and I love the fact that he has no filter. When it comes to international affairs, you can ruffle the wrong feathers. For example, this trade war he has on China, I fully support him on that. Tariff the communists, tariff the shit out of them. But regarding tariffing the allies, his allies, don't do that. Come on. And you can see how it's also backfired, because when China started fighting back viciously with the tariffs, it started tariffing America right back. Trump, or there was I think there was some sort of news about how Trump asked Europe to start tariffing China. Trump was asking Europe's assistance, and Europe, they turned their back on Trump. They pretty much said, screw you, we're going to do our own thing. You're tariffing us. Why should we listen to you? So now this is what I'm saying. Trump's mistake when it comes to foreign policy, in my opinion, is alienating allies. Yes, you can argue that allies have been taking advantage of you, okay, but who's been taking advantage of you more, your allies or your enemies? Trump has said in some ways our allies, but here's the key difference. Your allies are willing to negotiate with you, okay? Your allies are willing to change. Your allies are willing to cooperate. Your allies are your allies. They will stick with you. But not China. They will not. That's why I'm saying that's Trump's biggest mistake, in my opinion. Again, you can agree, you can disagree. I'm open to all sorts of stuff. But this is just my opinion. I do agree absolutely, and America does have a reputation for waiting till the last moment to take harsh action in wars, even in the 2 world wars. Yeah, I agree. It was that isolationist rhetoric that landed America in World War II. Wait, no. That doesn't make any sense. But, sorry, what I just said didn't make any sense. If they had involved themselves in World War II earlier, they would still be involved. What I said didn't make any sense. But what I'm trying to get at is that isolationism, especially for a superpower, a world superpower, does not work. It really doesn't. And I guess I kind of disagree with Trump on that too. But during his campaign, I thought that he would be a massive isolationist, and there was concern, especially among foreigners, that hey, he's going to abandon our allies, especially in Ukraine. Ukrainians were like, "Oh my God, we're doomed if he wins." But when he came into office, he was much more level-headed. He wasn't like, "Oh, I'm going to cut America off from foreign affairs completely." It was a huge sign of relief. He didn't abandon Israel. He didn't abandon Ukraine. Well, I guess he kind of He didn't abandon Ukraine, but he kind of loosened the leash on them. He isn't supporting them as much. I don't know if he is giving them support. He must be if Ukraine is still in the fight, or maybe Ukraine is relying on Europe's help. Actually, let's switch that up. Has Trump stopped giving aid to Ukraine? Oh, he hasn't. Okay, that's good. That's good. Again, Graham's views on Ukraine and mine do differ. He believes that Trump should cut all aid to Ukraine. I don't believe that. But we agree to disagree on this. But I'm super glad that Trump didn't completely halt all military aid to Ukraine. Because, it's clear that Putin is the one that wants to continue this war. He just had a call with him. He just went on a call with Putin, and Putin refused to back down. And even though they had a rough talking to with each other, that was a humiliating talking to, like that's a interaction in the Oval Office. They do recognize that, hey, Ukraine is not the bad guy here. I still don't like J.D. Vance for what he did to Zelensky. Kind of put Zelensky on the spot, didn't he? That was I like J.D. Vance in some areas, but in other areas, I don't. What's this? 64 billion. Wait, 64 billion what? Dollars? Oh, America was giving to Ukraine. Is that what you were saying? President Donald Trump has dismissed media reports that Okay, so he's still continuing aid. That's good. That's good. He hasn't completely cut it off. He's getting a lot of pressure about spending. Oh, here we go. 64 billion. Some people on both sides of the aisle, Democratic and Republican, are very concerned about the deficit, so they're putting huge amounts of pressure on him by that too. He's getting a lot of pressure about spending. Yeah, I do agree. America needs to gain control of their spending. You know what I think? I think just hear me out here. America's military budget, it should come out of America's military budget, the aid going to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Because, the American military budget is already through the roof. Okay? And I know that some of the aid going to these countries is already coming from the military budget, but you should divert more money from the military budget to foreign assistance. And with the amount of money Elon Musk has saved, you guys are going to be able to, hopefully you guys are going to be able to pull this off. Now, I think reducing aid to certain allies, I'm not going to say who because I don't want to get divisive here, to certain allies would be a good thing. Allies that don't need it. But, I guess all the allies need it, but the allies that are already overpowered. You know what? I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to cut through the butter. I'm just going to tell you what I'm talking about. I think America's aid to Israel, it's good. I love it. But I think it should be halved because Israel is already one of the most powerful countries in the Middle East. Okay, they have no problem taking out Hamas and Hezbollah. Wait, is that true? If they have no problem in taking them out, then it would have been finished already. It's a conundrum, isn't it? What's this? I was definitely embarrassed about Trump when he did that to Zelensky. Yeah, me too. I was cringing. I was like this. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Because this is gonna make him look like a massive dick in front of his allies. I love Trump. I love the guy, but man, that meeting was terrible. The enemies of America were salivating at that. Were salivating at that sight of America talking down to Zelensky. Because they could use it for propaganda purposes. The Iranian regime, even in one of their propaganda videos, they were like, "See, this is how America treats its allies on the world stage. Zelensky is just a puppet of Trump." They were using this for propaganda purposes. This was an extreme humiliation, and it showed fractures. It showed that the West wasn't united. It was terrible. I hated that so fucking much. Good morning, Tom Pepin. We're just talking about international affairs right now. Yes, in 2024, the total aid given to Ukraine was 64 billion, which was more than all the European nations combined. A fair point. That is a very fair point. That America is giving more than any other European country. Yeah. But you got to understand, America is like richer than any other European country. Now, what I think is that America, one of the reasons it's become so isolationist, this sentiment of becoming of this isolationism is running so high right now, is because of the fact that you guys don't have free healthcare. Almost every other country, every other evolved country has this. You guys don't have this, and it's mind-blowing. In fact, you guys are already spending tons of money on healthcare. Tons of money. I researched this. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert. I might be wrong. Who knows? Okay, so don't take my word for anything here. Okay, but this is based on the research that I've done, that I've seen, that I've spent time looking into. America is spending tons of money on not universal healthcare, sorry, on healthcare. I don't know what it's called over there, but on healthcare services, it's spending a ton of money. But the issue is that the funds are being misallocated, are being misappropriated, are being misplaced. They are being not only are they being spent unwisely, they're spending it in the wrong places, but also the companies that are charging them, they're charging them double or triple or fourple. I don't know, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. It's triple, double, even sometimes even 10 times more than that. Like some of the drugs that the companies are selling it for, quadruple, yeah, thank you, is way more than what it actually costs. In Europe, it costs way less. But the companies in America, they charge so much. And the reason that Congress or any of those places, your government isn't forcing the companies to bring the price down is because that was two good reasons. Oh yeah, some of the congressmen are paid off by these drug companies, and second is that it will be viewed as a socialist and a communist sort of change, which I can understand. You never want to go down the path of socialism or communism. I completely agree. Kill the communists. That's what I say. But you can't deny that there's good parts in every single ideology. In every ideology of the world, every ideology has something to bring to the table. Fascism, for example, the good side of that is it involves one core part of fascism that's good. The ideology as a whole is evil, but there is one good part. It's military spending. It focuses on building a strong military. Yes, you can dispute that. Hey, What are you talking about? In Italy, Italy was terrible. Italy was a fascist country, and its military was terrible. It failed and failed and failed. Even in Africa, against people with sticks, going ooga booga and fighting off the enemy. I shouldn't have done that. That was racist, but I kid. I'm a comedian. I like being unfiltered. Anyway, back to the point. You can argue that against people with sticks, with spears, Italy was still losing and they were a fascist country. Yes, but that was because Mussolini was putting the most incompetent people in charge of the military. But Mussolini was nevertheless funding a lot of its money into the military. Okay, and it's not like Iran where it didn't have the money. It didn't have the money. It was stripping money from social services to give to the military. No, Italy had the money for the military to keep a strong military. Okay, and it did that. Okay, but yeah, in one thing about fascism that is also not good is the amount of dedication it has to its military. It spends way too much on its military, but I digress. That's what I'm saying. Every ideology has its good parts. So anyway, the good part of fascism is that it's one of the core principles is having a strong military. One of the good parts of socialism, free healthcare. But does that mean socialism is good? No. Fuck no. No, it does not. I don't even want to get in. I don't even want to talk about all the bad sides of socialism and fascism, because this video would go on forever, and I'm way too tired. It's pretty late here, and I'm only going to be on the stream for another 40 minutes. But you can't deny that there are good sides of every ideology. Now, that being said, that's one of the reasons why it's not being implemented in the United States, this free healthcare thing. Because when the government in America, the idea of the government of America asserting its control over these drug companies, that would be seen as socialist. That's why it's not getting through. Now, you can agree, you can disagree, but that's my opinion. That's based on the research I've done. I subbed you. Healthcare is a shame in America, but new bill that passed has helped a lot on that. A little. Quadruple. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, quadruple. Where I got four from? I think part of the issue is Trump can't stand Zelensky. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Because I know Zelensky stood up for Trump at one point, and it was during a time when everyone was turning their back on Trump. I think it was what was it? You nailed the healthcare thing 100%. Is that 700% or 100? 100. Yeah, thanks, bro. You messed up quadruple probably because you speak multiple languages. I speak 2 languages. My main language is English. My second language is Farsi, which is Iranian. I only know half the language. I can't write Iranian for shit. For the life of me, I can't write Iranian. I can only say the first 10 Iranian numbers. That's it. And yeah. But yeah, thanks for saying that I nailed the healthcare thing. But hey, I might be wrong. Who knows? But that's what my take is. So again, if you disagree with me, I understand. But yeah, that's just my take. And don't think I'm endorsing socialism. Fuck no. Sorry, I shouldn't yell there. There's other people in the house. They might be asleep. But fuck no. I am not endorsing socialism. I am not endorsing fascism or communism. Let me just put that out there. Healthcare is a shame in America. Oh yeah, sorry, I've already read that. It was something else. Oh yeah, I think that part of Zelensky. Yeah, Zelensky helped Trump during a period of time when everyone was abandoning Trump, which is so. I find it a bit odd that Trump can't stand Zelensky. Oh, you know what I think it is? I think it is? I think the reason Trump can't stand Zelensky is because Zelensky. I love the guy. I love Zelensky and I love Trump. But I think Zelensky has, in Trump's eyes, become a beggar. And because Trump is rich himself, he doesn't like seeing people beg like this. Zelensky was meeting behind closed doors with the liberals. Yeah, that would make sense. I'm not gonna say that. Hey, that didn't happen 100%, because I mean, given the isolationist campaign, the fact that Trump ran on an isolationist campaign that hey, we're not going to involve ourselves in any of this shit. We're going to end the war on day one. End the war in Ukraine on day one. And if he didn't end the war on day one, then that would mean Ukraine can't get all its land back. So of course, Ukraine might. Let me just emphasize that might have been meeting with the liberals behind closed doors. I think there's a high chance of that. But yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons. But that's what I'm saying. From the very beginning, the fact that they grew to disdain, to not like each other this much, was a very big surprise to me, especially since Zelensky stood up for Trump during Trump's time of need. If you're wondering what time I'm referring to, I believe it was right after Trump's first presidency ended. All his allies were turning his back on him, and Zelensky came in, and I can't remember what he said. I'll look it up, but he definitely stood up for Trump. No, these are all recent. I'm talking about years ago. One sec. No, I'll read some of these comments in the meantime. Zelensky, yeah, we read that one. Yes, Beggar, I agree. He met with Chuck Schumer and others before seeing Trump. I believe that. No, there was something. He did stand up for Trump at one point. Let me ask ChatGPT, actually. This will be a better answer. Because all these articles are new. That time that Zelensky stood up for Trump was ages ago. Did Zelensky stand up for Trump? I know he did, but when? I can't remember. 2020, when Biden was elected? I believe around that time. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has not explicitly stood up for former President Donald Trump in a political or personal sense. However, their relationship has evolved significantly over time, particularly in the context of U.S. military support for Ukraine amid its ongoing conflict with Russia. No. I don't think even ChatGPT got it right. No. This was way before the war in Ukraine. 2020, when Biden was elected, it was around that time. It was definitely around that time, 100%. It was way before the Ukraine war. I believe you, Sam. Thanks. Because I know for a fact, even if you don't believe me, I completely understand, because I don't have any proof in my hands right now, but I did see an article about that. And if you can, try to research it in your own time, because in my belief, it's never good to believe someone just at face value. You know what I mean? Like to listen to someone off the internet and just believe them just because they say so. Otherwise, you'd be a brainwashed bot that might watch Hassan Piker or something. I'm not calling you a brainwashed bot. No, not at all. You're very open-minded. especially if you're listening to what I just said about how there's good sides to every ideology. But what I'm saying is that so you're not a hypocrite, and so you're not associated with these stinking Hassan Piker supporters. You should also try and look for it by yourself on your own time. Don't just believe me just because I say so. And if for 5 minutes you can't find it, that's fine. Let it go. But make an attempt. Well, I know you're not a liar. You could be mistaken about something, but your character isn't one of a liar. Thank you, brother. Thank you. 1G, I hate Hassan Piker. He's one of the ones that have zero good ideology. I hate him. But one things that sets him apart, like usually with people like him, I hate with a strong passion. There's another guy called what's his name? The motherfucker that works for the Iranian regime. Something Mamdani. He's done interviews with Piers Morgan. I can't remember what his name was, but I hate him way more than Hassan Piker. But the reason I don't get my blood boiled when I talk about Hassan Piker is because I guess it's because he hasn't really pushed much nonsense about the Iranian people's views of their own regime. Like, I hate Hassan Piker. I hate him with passion, but he doesn't boil my blood. And I think one of the reasons is because the only people that boil my blood is motherfuckers that say that the Iranian people support the Iranian regime. Because that hits a little close to home for me. Well, not a little, a lot. There's another motherfucker. That rhymed, another motherfucker. I could talk with you about Mamdani. I've actually looked into him. He's a son of a bitch. I want to strangle him. Sometimes I've thought, I don't know if I'm going to get kicked off YouTube for this, but I've actually even thought about flying to wherever he's living and killing him. He is a son of a bitch. I hate him with passion. My God, the audacity of this motherfucker. If you've seen videos of him, Bradley, if you've seen videos of this motherfucker, he goes on Piers Morgan. He's a fluent English speaker, and he's Iranian. He clearly works for the Iranian regime. He spouts this propaganda that makes my blood boil, because for decades Iranians have been fighting this conception that, hey, we Iranians are not like our regime. We are different. Okay, we do not stand with our regime. We want our regime gone. Help us achieve this goal. This motherfucker comes in and on Piers Morgan and starts spouting all this bullshit about, hey, the Iranian people like their regime, blah 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 blah. It boiled my blood. I wanted to kill him. Because not only is this tarnishing our image, but it's also turning people against us. It's not only is it turning people racist against us, and I haven't experienced any racism, okay? Well, no, actually I have. That's a lie. But very little. And what I'm trying to say is that this action of him going out there and saying that, hey, Iranians support the regime, this will make a lot of people second guess Iranians. You know what I mean? This will create hesitancy among Western nations to support the Iranian people in their fight against the Iranian regime. And that's why Mamdani boils my blood and Hassan doesn't. Because as far as I know, Hassan hasn't said anything like that. He said other outrageous shit. Like, he said 9/11 was deserved for America, which was insane. It was astonishing. Forgive me laughing, okay? But I'm so surprised that someone like that is allowed to continue streaming after saying this. It's insane. Man, free speech is a double-edged sword, isn't it? I guess the good side is that, hey, he's revealing his true self. You know what I mean? If you were to imprison people who say stuff like this, then they would never really reveal their true selves. But thanks to freedom of speech, he revealed himself to the world. The thing that pisses me off is that this didn't. His supporters still support him after this. It's insane. They're like Nazis. They salivate at anything their leader says. I better read some of these comments. No, he wants a city-run grocery store. So he's not only a theocrat, he's also a communist. Wait, he wants all grocery stores to be ran by the government? Even one, that's a weird concept. Why would you do that? Yeah, you'd strain government resources, government funding. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Don't even do that. So he's a socialist or communist or whatever. He's a scumbag. A double scumbag. You know what he's like? Mamdani, up until now, I've had the benefit, because I grew up in English-speaking countries, I had the benefit of not being able to understand most of what the regime's leaders are saying, because in their speeches, they're usually using big words that I have no idea what they mean. So if I ever came across one of their speeches, or if I ever heard what they were saying, my blood wouldn't really boil, because I wouldn't really understand what they're saying. I mean, I hate them still, but I wouldn't understand what they're saying. But Mamdani, I understand what he's saying, and it's astonishing. It's astonishing. And the fact that he's saying it in the English language, he's saying it for English viewers to hear. He's brainwashing English viewers is disgusting. It's infuriating. The grocery store won't happen. Government generally doesn't happen because of unfair advances. Looking to Wait, I don't think I really understood what you said here. Oh, wait a sec. Here we are. The grocery store won't happen. Government generally doesn't happen because of unfair advances. Looking to laissez-faire. You might want to say that. I think there might be a few typos in your sentence here because I didn't understand what you mean. Sorry. And I probably misspelled laissez-faire. Sounds French. I love French. I love the French language. So posh, so sophisticated. You either have I recently visited France. It was beautiful. Paris and Dijon. It was beautiful. It was like last month. You either have free speech or you don't. And yes, the upside is you see the people for who they are. Yes, I agree. Yes, communist. I can't remember what this was in reference to. I didn't. That must have been ages. Yes, communist. Yeah, Mamdani. Yeah, he's a communist. Now I remember. No, he wants a government store in a free market. Fucking idiot. You know what? Let him do it. Let him do it. It'll strain government resources, government funding, government attention. I shouldn't say government, regime attention, and it would make it more susceptible to collapse. Let him do it. Let the regime do that, so it'll collapse even quicker. I hate politicians that use bigger words than they really need to. I always feel they are trying to pump themselves up as a superior to everyone else. Yeah. I mean, you gotta have some level of sophistication if you're representing your country, but you don't want to be a tat-ass. I like Trump. That's another reason I like Trump. He's sophisticated, but he's also not afraid to fly around the F word and stuff. You know? I like that. I love that about Trump. I hate politicians that you. Oh, I already read that. Yeah. Laissez-faire is French, means hands off. Oh, don't translate that. Why does it not mean hands off? Ooh, you're teaching me bad words, Tom Pepin? Yeah. Let's see what else we can look into. What else is in the news? Seuss. Oh. Guys watch Oversimplified. I love his videos. He's very informative. Gives me an idea of how the revolution in Iran can pick up steam and eventually overthrow the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah of the clerics that run the country. But yeah, if Trump is serious, he should go back in and bomb the regime to smithereens, and he'd have the full support of the Iranian people. I think Israel can do it too. Like, if you see the rallies, by the way, can I just put this out there? If you see the rallies of these Iranians coming to protest against the U.S. and Israel, just so you know, most of those are foreigners. Most of those are Muslims from neighboring countries that have come in, okay, by the regime's request to shore up internal support. Because the regime is so unpopular, the regime is what do you call it? Giving incentives for immigrants from Muslim countries to come in and move to Iran, okay, and these immigrants usually support the Iranian regime, okay. So the regime is trying to bring in more immigrants like these to prop up support internally. That's how bad it's failing. So whenever you see these giant protests that are against the U.S. and Israel, know that most of these people aren't even ethnically Persian, aren't even ethnically Iranian. Iranian and Persian are the same thing, by the way. So know that they're not even ethnically of us. And those that are, okay, they're either prisoners who have been offered short sentences if they attend these protests. They are what else? They are paid actors. They and some of them, even if they are legitimate supporters of the regime and they are ethnically Iranian, okay, they are very few in number. They are very few in number, and they are gathered from every corner of the fucking country, and they are brought into one city to make it look like the population of that city is the vast majority of the population of that city is in support of the regime. No, they are not. They are not. Let me just reiterate: the vast majority of Iranians do not support this regime, and the few who do, they are often brought in from every corner and crevice the regime can find, and the regime funds transportation to bring them into to the cities to make it look like the regime has massive support when it doesn't. It's ridiculous. And you see some of these people that most of them are old people, are fucking old people, man. And even majority of old people don't like this regime. It's wild. It's a wild situation. I think I've covered all the news for today. Oh, you know what I want to look into? Big Beautiful Bill. I'll be on. That's extremely suspicious. What is? You think there's something else going on? Because there really isn't. That's just the base of it. That's just what it is. There's nothing. There's nothing else to it. The regime comes in, brings in people from every corner and crevice to make it look like it has massive support when it doesn't. What's this Big Beautiful Bill, by the way? I've heard so much controversy surrounding this. I'll be on for another 17 minutes. Where's my mouse? Ugh. It includes provisions for extended tax cuts, increased military spending, and cuts to Medicaid, affecting millions of Americans. Ew. The Senate passes a bill which has been described as a landmark piece of legislation with major changes to taxes, healthcare, and immigration. Wow. I need to look into this more. I guess, no, at first, no. You know what? At first, this actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. At first, I was like, why would Trump do this? This isn't a good thing. But then I remembered that the money going into the healthcare program, I think you guys call it Medicaid. Maybe it's something else, I don't know. But I know that the money going into the healthcare program is so misallocated. So it's tons of money. It's so misallocated that cutting money to it won't do anything. It's the funds are so. I keep struggling to find the words for this. Is it misappropriated, misallocated, mishandled? It was on the tip of my tongue. I forgot it. Are so mishandled that cutting funding to it, what will it do? Come on. So, okay, yeah. It's unnecessary spending. And surely there must be some areas of the Medicaid program system or whatever that that benefit people, but it clearly doesn't benefit enough people, and it doesn't benefit enough because of how mishandled the funds are. So cutting aid to it, okay, that's understandable. It includes provisions for extended tax cuts. Okay, that's good. Increased military spending. No, actually, now that I think about it, that's also a good thing. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like the clouds of World War III are looming above us. Like, heavily. One thing that I'm always confused about is that you guys want to be isolationist, but you spend this much money on the military. That's the odd thing, isn't it? You want to be isolationist, but you spend this much money on the military. You've got two oceans surrounding. Yes, you got two oceans surrounding you, and yes, I do agree. America is a powerhouse and should remain a powerhouse. But with this isolationist rhetoric, it's kind of conflicting with this military spending. Why would you need such high military spending if you're an isolationist, right? If the country is so isolationist. Sorry, it's getting late here. I'm going to get a little bit fucked up with my words. If you're not planning on involving yourself in anything, then why spend so much on defense? Especially since your allies are below and above you. You got Mexico as a friend, Canada is a friend. Canada's a piss off friend, yeah, but it's a friend. Your closest enemy is Cuba. And what are they going to do? So it's always been a bit odd to me to hear some Republicans say that, hey, we want to raise military spending, but we also don't want to involve ourselves in anything, or we want to cut all aid to everyone. We want to stop being involved in Israel and Ukraine and Taiwan. We don't want to do any of that stuff, but we want to raise military spending. And what's the point? What's the point? I know you want self-defense, but you're already one of the strongest militaries on earth. I agree. High military spending is good, especially for America, because not only will it deter America's not only will it deter America's enemies, but it'll also keep America strong and ready. And combat ready if World War III ever breaks out, if a war ever breaks out between China and Taiwan. But that's the very weird thing I find about some Republicans. Again, I don't hate the Republicans that say, hey, we want massive military spending, but we also want to be an isolationist country. I don't hate them, but I just find it a very bizarre opinion, a very conflicting opinion. That's what I think. Because I mean, again, yeah. Well, what is the point? If you're not going to make use of this, then make use of the military spending. Then what's the point of spending on the military this much? But no, I think it's good that you guys are spending a lot on the military, because I know that you guys aren't a full-blown isolationist country, and you guys know. Even Trump realized that during when he came into office for the second time, that isolationism. That's you can't go full-blown isolationist in this world. Like Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I agree. You from America, Bradley? What about you, Tom? Why does my tooth hurt? I need to go to the dentist. Let's look into the... Oh, immigration. Let's look into this. Oh, can I just say, I am so glad that Trump is deporting the Iranian loyalists. The Iranian, sorry, not loyal. Loyalists. The Iranians that are still loyal to the regime. I'm so happy about that. Actually, a lot of us Iranians are happy about that, because because these people have been threatening us. They are few in number, but they have a massive nerve. They have some nerve on them. They come in, they attend these pro-democracy protests. Usually, Iranians protest in front of the embassy in America, to protest the Iranian regime. The regime loyalists come in, they disrupt them, they threaten us, they do all sorts of shit. So seeing Trump deport them, perfect. We need that in Europe, especially England. Fuck. Have you seen the UK? My God. God. My tooth, I think I fucked it up. Looks fun. All right, let's look into this. Ooh, I like this. I like the layout. It's nice. Expand and extend and expand rate cuts. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Reduce ACA overpayments and payments to immigrants. What the fuck is ACA? American credit acceptance. I have no idea what this is. Oh, wait. That was the description. Okay, this part I understand, but ACA, I've got no idea. How would you be paying immigrants? Well, I mean, illegal immigrants. Even legal immigrants, like, oh wait, yeah. But then again, they are legal. If they're legal, then they're just like any other American, no? I don't know. That's disputable. That's debatable. Yeah, that is debatable. Just looking into it on my phone right now. ACA. No. The ChatGPT won't give me a clear answer. What else does it have on immigration? Diversity immigrant visa fees. What the fuck does this mean? Oh, wait, it says here that money has been increased for this. What could that mean? Oh, wait. Diversity immigrant visa fees. I was about to say, would it be increasing the fee for immigrants to come here? No, maybe not. He's allocating money to it. Other immigration fees. Hiring of additional U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement. Wait, what the hell? What? Trump has reduced $8 billion to this. What? No, maybe this is like an old one. Maybe Biden's one. I don't know. Okay, wait. I am so confused. What is going on? Am I having a stroke? What the fuck is going on? The red numbers mean that it's increasing the deficit, meaning that we're spending more on that particular thing. Oh, yeah, I forgot. So, oh, yes, you're right. My bad. I thought this was, I thought negatives. I thought this was meant reducing money. I forgot. Thank you. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? I was kind of taken aback. I was like, is this Trump? Is this Trump's presidency? Is this Biden's? Man, I was flabbergasted for a moment there. I was really speechless. Okay. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me in the ass. I was so stunned. I thought I inhaled something for a second. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Is my world just... Am I confusing words here? What is going on? I can't tell you how much of a mind fuck that was. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. Beautiful. I love it. So Trump's doing the right thing. I like it. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end the stream here. It was fun. We had a good run. I'll talk to you soon. And I'll be doing more of these. Don't worry. Probably once every 2 days or once every day. I don't know. Depending on what me and Graham think of. But yeah. Thank you so much. And we'll talk soon. Bye.